8 points in the last 5 minutes, 15 points in the fourth quarter, 2 threes he knocked down. He had 2 steals as well. Then you go to the other side, the Houston Rockets. It seems to be a team that obviously has championship aspirations, but once again, in the big time moments, whether it be James Harden, Russell Westbrook in this case, who had 6 turnovers, a couple of costly plays down the stretch, where does Houston go in Game 7 if they want to pull out that victory?
Listen, Houston has to go to the man that's got them here. They have to go to James Harden. Russell Westbrook had the ball late, and this is a really short air ball for a high-level player in that moment. And then he had the turnover down the stretch too. The biggest question for me was, why didn't James Harden have the ball? I understand Russ is the MVP, but James Harden is the guy for this team. He makes the plays down the stretch, and I whether that's Russ knowing that James needs the ball, James going over to get the ball, Mike D'Antoni making sure James gets the ball. In those situations, as much as I love Russ, James is built for this. James's game is more complete. James can shoot the 3, the mid-range, and he's a good free throw shooter. While Russ right now is basically just a guy that drives the ball incredibly hard to the basket. But that jumper comes and goes. The free throw shooting can be inconsistent as well. So I think James Harden should have had the ball in his hands down the stretch. And that's what's going to be talked about tomorrow at the end of this game. How well Chris Paul played down the stretch, and why James Harden didn't have the ball and Russ made those 2 bad plays.
Going back to Chris Paul, who obviously had a great game. Shouts out to the Banana Boat Crew, CP3. Put some respect on his name and more. Tweet coming from LeBron James. Brendan, when you see this tweet, obviously LeBron, close friend of Chris Paul. These 2 teams could potentially play in the next round if the Thunder go on to beat the Rockets. That series potentially, what could we see when you see Chris Paul against LeBron James?
Listen, man, it would be an incredible series because you get to see LeBron James pretty much put out another member of the Banana Boat Crew. We just saw him put Carmelo to sleep the other night. And as much as I love Chris Paul, OKC is not beating the Lakers. No way, no how. So if OKC does manage to get past Houston, that's where the fun ends. But right now, we got to focus on the positive. Chris Paul's incredible night, incredibly clutch. Hey, Chris, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Hey, don't do that. Roll. That's how you get beat up in the park. If you hit a jumper, if we at the gym and you hit a jumper on me, that's clutch. And then you walk by and smack me in the butt, I'm tackling you. Security will have to pull me off of you. Don't do that, CP. Come on, CP. You better than that, man. Come on, CP.
Hey.
Dog, after you cross me up, hit the 3 in my face, you pat me on the butt, I done got thrown out right then and there. Hey, listen, man. If I'm Covington, we in the bubble, I'm going to be knocking at Chris Paul's door in his hotel room. Like, hey, hold on, fam. You got to come see me about this, man.
Hey, and you know they're in the same hotel just a couple of floors away, the way things are set up in the bubble. I mean, in the background, they say it's good, so apparently CP thought it was okay.
Yeah, okay. Hey, listen, man. Hey, come on. CP, man, don't do that, man, like that. After you done hit him with the body snatcher and took him to step back tech, you going to go ahead and pat him on the butt? Come on, man. Don't do that, man, like that, CP.
Man, we're having too much fun right here. We're going to take a pause in our fun. We're going to take you to Coach D'Antoni, Chris Paul's former coach.
Hey, Mike. 3 close games in this series. They've won all 3. What's happening late? How come you guys aren't able to finish these games and find a way to get them?
Well, I mean, we had 22 turnovers. It's like you can't have 22 turnovers. We're trying to get less than 10. And 22 just sealed our fate. And then we had some fouls that we weren't disciplined. We had, just reach-in fouls. They put them in the line and let them score. So, things that we can correct and will. And Game 7's coming up. Should be a good one.
Adam Wexler.
Coach, after those 2 free throws from Chris, how come y'all set it up to have Russell bring it up the court? Were you looking to get it to James during the possession?
Yeah, it'd have been a switch, and then we're looking to kick it back to him. That's kind of our go-to play, and that's what the 2 guys wanted. So, that's what we went with.
Kelly Ego. Kelly. We'll go to McMahon.
Mike, you mentioned the turnovers. Russ had a couple there down in the last 2 minutes. How much of that, what you're seeing from Russ right now, is a guy who's chipping off rust, obviously in really high stakes situations?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, he'll be better. It's tough to come back right in the middle of a series and you've been out for a couple, 3 weeks. So, and also the whole layoff. So, he's fine. We'll be fine. And we just didn't play. We played about as bad as we could play, and we're right there. And we'll have to do a better job the day after tomorrow.
Randy McAvoy.
Hey, Mike, what the guys are made of. It's a Game 7, all the pressure that goes with that. How do you think they're going to come out and respond, knowing what happened tonight?
Oh, we're going to respond. Yeah, we're going to respond. We'll clean up some things. And like I said, we can't play much worse, so we'll play better.
Adam Spollen.
Mike, just with the turnovers, did everything just feel a little out of sync offensively? And was that on y'all, or was that something that they were doing?
No, that was all on us. We just weren't sharp. Got a little careless a few times, and we paid for it.
Noel Rodriguez.
Yes, Coach. Game 7, no home court. What will be?
Well, actually, it is home court. We've won 3 home games. They've won 3, so we have a home court advantage. So there you go.
Okay, what do you guys think to do that you're going to be doing to stop CP3 offensive and leadership in the court?
Well, hey, he's a great player. He's been doing it his whole career. I don't know if we'll come up with a formula to be able to stop him. He's been out of the league 10 years ago. Somebody can figure out how to stop him. We just got to play better. I mean, the points, they get 100 points, 102 points. That's good enough. We didn't play very well offensively. We weren't sharp at 22 turnovers. You got to cut that down 12 more possessions. You got about 12, 13 more points. That's good enough. So we just got to be careful with the ball and be disciplined with our fouling.
Brian Fairfield.
Coach, that's what I wanted to ask you. Did you feel like even at the start of the game, you just felt like the offense was kind of out of sync?
Yeah, we just weren't sharp. James had a good game, but we just weren't sharp. Just turned it over. Too many careless things. Too many missed layups. It happens. We didn't play well. We didn't play well at game 4, but we'll be ready. We'll be ready to go the day after tomorrow.
Mark Berman.
Mike, I know you said that y'all didn't play well. Did they make any adjustments at all between Game 5 and 6? Any impact at all?
No.
And last one, Brian Smith.
Mike, 3 of the games have been double-digit wins, and